How's it going, everybody? You got the Razman coming at you here with another video as Skinslip's Scavenger Hunt reviews continue, as today we discuss the film with a color in the title, The Odd Life of Timothy Green, on the Razman's Reality. Now, you might be thinking, come on, Raz, you're cheating because Green is the last name of the kid, and it really isn't about a color. Au contraire, my dear friends, au contraire, because the plotline of this entire film involves the color green, mainly the effect of green leaves on everyone, and eventually the leaves change color throughout the film, but in the beginning it's all about the green. So I don't consider this cheating at all, and really it was the only film with a color in the title that I felt was worth reviewing, because the only other film that jumped out at me that I had seen with a color in the title was The Color Purple, and that's just not the kind of film that I'm going to review, because it's been done so many times over and I'm not a fan of it. And I'm not going to talk about something I'm not a fan of, with the exception of the later category, a slasher film without a sequel, because that's just Skinslip being Skinslip, so he had to expand my horizons by forcing me to do that. But for this category, I had to talk about a film that I actually really enjoyed and was really passionate about, so I chose The Odd Life of Timothy Green. Now, before I go any further in this review, some of you out there are probably going to be like, whoa, Raz, you just have a poster up. You clearly don't own this. Isn't that against the rules? Well, it would be, except for I talk to the man himself, and he understands the fact that I've seen a lot more than I actually own, just due to my financial constraints. So he agreed to open it up to films that I've streamed or films that I've seen on television, which in the case of The Odd Life of Timothy Green, I saw it during a Starz free weekend trial that my cable company Time Warner had a few months ago. And I was surprised by how much I liked this film. I actually just watched this film because it has two of my favorite people in it, Jennifer Garner and Tim McGraw. But upon diving into it, I was like, wow, this film is a lot more deep than I ever thought it was going to be. This film is about a couple whose character names I don't remember first name wise. Obviously their last name is Green, but I've only seen it once, and even though I really enjoyed it and it really stuck with me well enough to be passionate enough to want to do this review, I don't remember their first names, so I do apologize for that. But I eventually will own this film or watch it again, so if need be I might feel like I need to come back and do a second review of this and talk about it a little bit more in depth. But I don't think character names are necessary always to do an in-depth review, so we'll see how this goes. And this is going to be more in-depth than 21 entry number 1 was, because this is the kind of film that you can talk a little bit more about than 21 without spoiling the story of the film, because 21 just has a very basic plot where you do an action and you deal with the consequences of those actions. This one was a lot more layered. So as I started to get into and then wound up with a big long-winded explanation, as I sometimes tend to do, if you don't know what this film is about a wife and a husband who have been trying for years to have children. and they keep failing at it and failing at it and failing at it, and finally, unfortunately, learn that they're not able to have a kid of their own. So, after crying and crying and crying about it, they go and they decide, well, just for one more night, we're going to pretend like we can have our own kid. So we're going to write down everything that is our dream kid. You know, his personality, his likes and dislikes, because they want a boy. So they're like, a personality, his likes and dislikes, everything about how we want our kid to be, we're going to write it down on a piece of paper, and we're going to just live out our fantasy for one night. So they do that, and they write it down and they bury it in their garden, which is full of green vegetables and surrounded by trees with green leaves and everything else. So they bury it in the garden. A storm happens, and the next morning there's a child in their garden, and it turns out that this child, who reveals his name to be Timothy, has grown out of their garden. And they start to think, well, wait a minute. Has this kid really come from our garden? Are we crazy? He said his name was Timothy. That's what we wanted to call our kid. So yeah, a miracle happened from this storm, and they've been given their dream child. Now, I'm not going to talk any more about the plot line itself, because just like 21, and just like almost every film in this contest that I will probably end up reviewing, with the exception of the slasher film, because I haven't got to it yet, and horror's not my thing, so I don't know how in depth I'll go for a review for that. But Timothy Green is all about getting what you want, but really learning that what you want may not be what you need, and reacting to the twists and turns of life, and suddenly thinking, okay, we thought our life was going to go in one direction, but now this amazing thing has happened to us, and we're learning that if it goes in a completely different direction, not only is it going to change us and affect us, but it's also going to change and affect the people who come in contact with that amazing thing. So it is all about Timothy and the impact that Timothy had, not only on the Jennifer Garner and Tim McGraw characters, his parents, but on everyone he met. And it just goes in places you would never expect it to go, and it is a really, really powerful film. So if you've never seen The Odd Life of Timothy Green, I cannot recommend it enough. It's not often that I see something from streaming other than my Netflix Pick of the Week series, which is coming back, or other than my Recommend series, which is something that comes directly from a YouTuber, usually, or a family member or a friend, that I will sit there and I will say that, hey, I streamed this and it had that much of an impact on me, or hey, I saw this and I don't own it and it had that much of an impact on me. But The Odd Life of Timothy Green is without a doubt the exception to that rule. So please see this film if you haven't seen it. And Skinslip buddy, I hope I did alright, and I hope I didn't cheat with that category. I hope my explanation of the plotline helps you realize why I thought this counted as a film with a color in the title. So with that, of course, if it didn't, you can let me know in the comment section down below, and I will redo it so that I'm not disqualified for the contest. With that, if you're new here and you like what you saw here today, please, if you're on a clickable device, or if you're going to head to one at your earliest convenience, hit that subscribe button, because I would love to see you again. If you'd like your chance to enter Skinslip's contest, you can find his card that will link you directly to the contest video itself. Reminder that the contest does end though at the end of August, so you don't have too much longer if you want to participate in it, but yes, you can click on the video to get all the rules for the contest. If you'd like to become a supporter of the Razman's reality YouTube program, either through fan funding and or Patreon, you can find both those cards in this video as well. The cards are in the form of a white looking eye, which will be at the top right hand corner of your screen. It'll be a little bit difficult to see because unfortunately where YouTube drops it is in the whitest part of the white wall of my bedroom. So just hover your mouse over the that top right hand corner until you find the cards. Join me tomorrow for category number 3, a film you discovered through another YouTuber. And as always, this is reality according to the Razman and Razman style. It's not just a catchphrase, but a way of life.